Hello everyone, sorry for the long delay. This was supposed to come out nearly 2 weeks ago, but things became busy with my life. Like, I got sick for a bit, it's a whole thing. But I'm back now with a new Transformers video, specifically talking about the new update, or update in general. So, let us begin by breaking down the update log, starting with the new characters added. Let's begin with Blitzwing.
Yes, but I doubt it will do you much good at this point.
Blitzwing's primary weapon is a twin set of icy lasers with a short range, dealing a decent amount of damage. It's a pretty solid weapon choice to use, especially when you land consistent hits in, but the main problem with it is it's too short ranged. Like, the damage itself is good, but it's not that good for your main weapon to be so short ranged that you can't even shoot someone when they're 2 feet flying in the air. His secondary, which is my personal favorite, is where he transforms into his tank mode, which lets you fire a big blast that if you land your hit on someone when you're in front of them, it deals a critical amount of damage, if not one shots if you try focusing on a headshot. This is my favorite part about Blitzwing as a character in the game because it fits his description of, well, being a triple changer, and it runs and mixes incredibly well with his jet mode. So you can be flying in the air, drop down, and transform into your tank mode and obliterate everyone in sight. Hopefully in the later future we can have our vehicle modes that have weapons on them actually be able to be used in combat. And the best part about Blitzwing is how they implemented his multiple personalities into the game by making the weapons you use contribute to his personality switch. His ice lasers represents his icy side, his tank mode shows his angry side, and his basic M1 switches to his psychopathic side. A very nice touch to add for Blitzwing, and I'll give my thumbs up for that for adding this deep. Overall, Blitzwing is a decent Decepticon to use while playing, despite his minor drawbacks, and is a very fun character to play as. Being able to just land down and blow everyone away instantly is just hilariously fun for me. Now to talk about the next new character, that is Lockdown.
Not one of them. Name's Lockdown. I'm what you call a bounty hunter.
His primary weapon is his EMP generator, which deals a good amount of damage depending on how many shots you get off. Really, if you ask me, it should have been a continuous laser instead of a multi-shot as shown in animated, but the weapon itself is still very useful, especially if you're consistent with your shots. His secondary is special, to simply put it, as whenever you die, it switches to a different weapon that can either be incredibly helpful or questionably awful. It's completely random, but the concept is very unique for this character, and it makes sense because he is a bounty hunter. I would expect him to have more than 2 choices of weaponry, but the execution leaves the character to be overly inconsistent with his usability in killing the opposing team. Lockdown is a good character to use, but there are better options. Next and last for the Decepticon side is Blackarachnia.
My friends call me Blackarachnia.
I'm just going to say this right now. I am not fully exaggerating when I state this, but Blackarachnia is honestly one of the best characters to use in this game. No joke. Her primary weapon is a consistent barrage of small energy balls that deal an incredibly large amount of damage if you consistently aim right. Even if you miss a few shots, you'll still deal a huge amount of damage to the person you're engaging with. This, in all honesty, is one of the best weapons in this game, and what makes it even better is pairing it with Blackarachnia's speed, which is extremely quick. Her alt mode is one of the fastest in the game. You can run out of ammo, transform to get away from enemy fire, then immediately come back and rain hell on everyone. And her melee isn't even that bad. I would say it's surprisingly decent. Blackarachnia deals a huge amount of damage with her M1s, and with her speed, you can dodge other people's attacks pretty easily. Though she does have her drawbacks. One of the more obvious ones is her lack of durability, which is kind of fair for her character. Dealing a high amount of damage in exchange for lesser durability to take hits is a surprisingly good drawback. Another flaw with Arachnia is her lack of a secondary weapon. She instead has a grappling hook, which is fine, I guess. It's not even recolored white, it's just your basic grappling hook. Now that we're done with the Decepticon side, let's get into the newly added Autobots, starting with Bumblebee.
Okay, maybe we're a little unclear on the concept of your own size.
Bumblebee's primary is as you expect, lightning blasts that deal a considerable amount of damage. I'll say his stingers deal more damage than his G1 counterpart's gun by a good margin. His secondary is a thunder rocket. That's a bit of a surprise. It does a decent amount of damage, mainly if you aim for the head. Animated Bumblebee is all around a great character to use in combat. I find him similar to Arachnia, where he hits and moves super fast, but he's weaker in terms of offensive firepower and durability. He should mainly be used for support, but if you have the skill being on the front line, using him shouldn't be that hard. Next up is Prowl, who is honestly disappointing. I can't tell if it's how I used the character or the devs really just shafted him entirely, but his entire kit revolves around throwing ninja stars. Which, yeah, if you watch the actual show, makes complete sense. But when you try and actually use those ninja stars offensively, you end up failing with very low amounts of damage given to the enemy. I've tried to really make Prowl work, I really did, but the way the devs just ruined Prowl's main way of dealing damage, it just gave him the complete middle finger with how little he gives, with his main option of fighting back being completely mediocre, is just sad. At best, he's okay, and at worst, he's below average, and should just really be only used for support. And the last new character added is Ratchet.
Listen up, Scrap Heap. You're not an Autobot, and you never will be an Autobot. You're only good for one thing. Garbage!
His primary is dual laser beams that deal your average amount of damage. It's not a terrible weapon to just throw in the garbage, but it's not all of that to where you can reliably get kills without outside help. It is just perfectly average. His secondary is his traditional healing weapon that every Ratchet has in this game. It's a good support item that's vastly underused in this community. Trust me, I have the experience to deal with those types of people. Ratchet is pretty alright in the game. His primary may be teetering towards being below average, but as I keep saying in this video, keep landing those headshots, it'll help keep your kill streak consistent. There's other stuff in the update like the new skins, which all of them look very good looking, and other characters, but I don't want to make this video extremely longer than it should. But if you want me to review other characters in this game, be sure to tell me in the comment section below or in the community post for whatever. And if you liked watching the video and possibly want more, be sure to like the video and subscribe, and I'll be seeing you later.